Okay, Argentina were playing Australia in the second round in this year's World Cup. While Argentina have won the game 2-1, they made hard work of it. Australia were good value for them for money. Australia made Argentina really work for it. Argentina laboured at times. One thing I have noticed about this Argentina side is it's not all the Messi show, which is a good thing. I think that's important. While Messi is still their best player, probably one of the best players of all time, other players in this Argentina side are also having an impact where Messi isn't necessarily involved in every single goal and every single attacking play, which is important. Defensively, however, I find this Argentina team suspect. And for large portions of the first half and portions of the second half, they weren't pressing effectively. Both Argentina goals come from effective press. Ironically, when they decided to press, they get 2 goals. But until the first goal, they were very passive in defence. They allowed Australia to have a lot of the ball, which is alien for Australia. Australia are used to basically pressing, being defensive and catching on the counter-attack with limited possession. The possession stats at portions in the first half were nearly 50-50, which is not, I don't think, what Australia were expecting. Now, maybe that might be a deliberate ploy by the Argentinians, but in the 3 previous games, their press hasn't been great either, and they've been a little bit hot and cold. They've been good in games, bad in games. The Saudi Arabia game, they lost. And part of that is to do with that lack of energy when it comes to a press. Now, when I mean a press, I don't mean getting right in the face of the attacker, tackling everything. It's shutting down the passing lanes, shutting down the escape ball, shutting down the runs, and creating a spatial press where it pressurises the player with the ball to make a decision that they don't want to make. Argentina just allowed Australia to pass out, which is a problem. Now, when they decide to get the press, Messi scores his goal. And look, Lionel Messi, from that far out, given it's more the speed he moves the ball out of his feet. It's not that he's lost a yard of pace. He's still got the quick skill and the movement to make up for that yard of pace he's lost. And he's very quick at getting a shot off. That took 35 minutes for Argentina to get a shot on goal. That is how good the Australian press had been. But when Argentina decided to press, they get their first goal. Their second goal from Julian Alvarez after half-time. Both sides were guilty of this. The sloppy, lazy back pass under pressure to a goalkeeper who's been pressurised. Martinez in the Argentina goal had a couple of close ones. Matty Ryan has caught that sloppiness bug. They both believe they're Rene Higuita. They're not. I'm not a big fan of the sweeper keeper. I know a lot of people are. It takes, it's how the game has evolved, but it's a high risk play with low risk rewards at times. And I don't know what Matty Ryan's doing. Just put his laces through it. He's pressurised by 2 players, Alvarez and DePaul. DePaul gets in his eye line, forces him into the mistake, and Alvarez won't score an easier goal. Julian Alvarez has been a find at this World Cup for Argentina, one of several young players coming through that there is life after Messi, and they're 2-0 up and they're cruising. The problem is, that was the problem. There was no incentive to get a third at that point. There was no incentive to up the tempo and pace. And again, while they were pressing a little bit more in the second half and with a little bit more energy, Australia was still getting lengthy passages with their passing and moving, and Argentina, I wouldn't say looked disinterested, but weren't playing with the same energy they played in the last 2 group games. And while Messi had his flashes and had moments where he was brilliant, he also had some misplaced passes and sloppy play, and he was effectively shut down by the Australian midfield led by Adrian Moy. And then the Craig Goodwin goal comes from nothing. It really does. And it'll probably get given as an own goal in time by FIFA, but as it currently stands, he's been credited with the goal, and that is a hit and hope pile driver. Now, whether it was on target initially or would have slightly gone wide or gone over is irrelevant. The deflection beats Martinez in goal. He's rooted to the spot, and that comes again from Argentina not closing down. They're giving space in the middle third of the field. And Goodwin has already scored 1 goal at this World Cup. He puts his foot through it. That is a shot out of frustration more than anything, I think. But it doesn't matter. He's allowed to get the shot off, and when there's a deflection, it can go anywhere, and it's gone in the back of the net. Now, if that's given as an own goal, so be it. We haven't actually had an own goal at this tournament as of yet. And then the game opens up a little bit and the tension rises, and then both goalkeepers have to keep making saves. Argentina made heavier work of this game than they should have, and credit to Australia for making Argentina have to win the game. Argentina nearly throw the game away from a winning position. So I'm not sold on this Argentina side. They have to play a lot better against the Dutch in the quarter-final, a lot better, because the Dutch will do what Argentina did basically to Australia. They will sit back, and I'm not sure how that's going to work with Argentina being very, very sloppy in possession so far in this tournament at times, and making poor decisions at times, and not being at the right intensity at times. Sometimes they're brilliant, sometimes they leave you scratching your head. Now, the Dutch under Van Gaal pulled off a tactical masterclass against the US earlier. If they play in the same way, could that backfire? I don't know, but I think Argentina, if they are given that much space on the ball, which the Dutch did against the US, they need to pass and move with pace. They didn't have Di Maria today. He's out injured. Now, Di Maria, I've been highly critical of him because he blows hot and cold. He can be brilliant. He can be frustrating. He can be useless. On his day, Di Maria is a very effective winger, midfielder, attacking midfielder, emergency centre forward, deep lying midfielder. Di Maria is very universally moved around. You can slot him into various positions. On his day, he's brilliant, but too often he goes missing. Di Maria is motivated and switched on. This could be very interesting. DePaul had a very good game. He ran up and down all day. McAllister again is showing flashes of what he's about. If those three players can support Messi in the attacking third, or in the creative middle third of the field, Argentina can beat the Dutch. But I'm not sold on Argentina defensively and their intensity level. But there we go. They win the game, but I wasn't convinced. But Messi, in his 1000th game, scores his 789th goal. So he scores 78.9% of the time he plays. That is terrifying. That is terrifying in footballing terms, goals per game average. And that is his first goal in a knockout game at a World Cup. He's never scored in the knockout stages before, so that is again another interesting stat in his career. So if he's got that off his back, could this be a sign that Argentina might be somehow getting to a World Cup final? With the way they're playing, I don't think they do, but stranger things have happened. In 2014, they made the World Cup final, and they weren't a great side. They weren't firing on all cylinders. 2018, they were poor. So I still think the best Argentina side not to win the World Cup was in 2006. That team they had was stacked. This team, more young players. The senior players need to step up. The younger players have stepped up, but more players need to take pressure off Messi so he can just roam around and lead from the front foot. They're not doing that enough at the moment. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below. The Socceroos, their tale comes to an end. That is Australia's best World Cup to date. They've won 2 games, 2 clean sheets, and they've scored in every game, which I don't think they've done before, so they can be very, very proud of their efforts in this tournament. And there is growth for the game in Australia. Argentina, a scrappy win, improvement required. Now, I thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.